What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of What's Up Cuzzo Podcast with your two favorite cousins. Hey, I think you got to join add to the stage, man. There we go.
There we go. Too many buttons to press, man. When I come in here, when I press, man, I should be already on the stage. Like, why I gotta come on the stage?
Hey, man, it's just like real life, man. They gotta, when you perform, they don't add you to the stage automatically, man. They gotta introduce you first, man, and then you come on stage, man.
I walk into the building, I'm already on stage, but I get you. I get you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, what's up? How you feel?
I'm good. It was not a bad week. All was well, no complaints. What about you? What's good?
Oh man, I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah, that's all I can say. I'm good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Man, so what's up with y'all out there, cousins? You know what I'm saying? They say we all related somehow. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Cut and Pete. You know what I'm saying? I need a plate and all that stuff.
Man, all that.
Yeah. So anyway, we are going to go ahead and get this thing started. I was trying to look at I was looking at some things, how we could change things around. I know that intro video, we've been playing for a while, and trying to clean things up and revise it, trying to make, not trying, but making little improvements here and there. So I was looking into that, but I will do that later because we got a lot to talk about. So episode number 23, Sins of the Father. So we got a story out there, man. Colt and Colin Gray. For you guys that don't know, Colt went into a school and basically took the lives or unalived a few people. But his father knew about some of the things that were going on. And what they decided to do, this happened in Georgia, and what they decided to do is, you know what? You knew some of these things was going on. You didn't take the proper precautions. So guess what? You're going to be there with your son. You may not be there as long as they're with him, but you're going to pay the price for this. So we'll talk about that. And then also we got a tragedy, another tragedy in Michigan where a father takes the life of his entire family. We'll talk about that. We're going to touch on AI companies. This is one couple that I saw that you sent are shredding books, sports betting. People were deciding to use sports bet as another form of entertainment, and it's outweighing the other forms of entertainment. We're going to talk about Apple and Klarna, and then the last one. Hey man, I'm sorry, it's not the last one, but we're going to try to get to all of them. But if we can't, it is what it is. But a man goes in to buy some Louisiana style Popeyes chicken, and he comes out with a prophylactic inside of his chicken, which is not all bad. And then also one last thing, this is for the men out there, for the fellas. A artist says that men are becoming what's the word you heard? Oh, divas. So we'll try to address all these things, but we're going to hop into the first one. And here we go.
Georgia, as far as I'm aware, it's the second case of its kind in the nation. And what we're really referencing is this new phenomenon of parents being charged in conjunction with crimes that their children are committing. It's a divisive case. It's a divisive type of case where a parent is charged in conjunction with the crimes that their children committed. And Mr. Gray committed crimes, but his crimes are tethered to the tragedy committed by his son. And that makes the situation a little unique. You know, I'll point out the first 39 witnesses of Mr. Gray's trial.
Renting a car for your next family road trip.
There we go, man.
Extra fun.
Did not mention Colin Gray. They did not testify about anything that Colin Gray did.
And so the pause right there. So Colin Gray is the father. Colt Gray is the son, just FYI. Let me see if I could actually scrub through some of this so we
There's
get to
an
the point.
easy example. Take a premeditated murder. Someone plans a murder. They want to kill someone, and they follow through on that plan, and they shoot him with a gun and kill him. And then in the other situation, someone's playing around with a loaded gun, recklessly, negligently, and they accidentally shoot and kill someone. Those crimes aren't punished the same. One is intentional, one is negligent. I will point out that every one of the 27 charges that Colin Gray was convicted of are criminal negligence. Every one of them. You didn't have him in school, Marcy's issues and what the kids were being exposed to. The punishment generally comes from the foreseeability of the harm and from the damage that results. It is clear you failed as a parent. You did not provide a stable household. You did not have things in check with Marcy's issues and what the kids were being exposed to. You did not have Colt in activities that a boy should be in, where he's making connections with other children in person, where he feels loved, where he feels accepted. You didn't monitor what was going on with him in the computer. You didn't have him in school. He was in your care his entire 8th grade year. And he didn't go to school. And what did he do each of those days he should have been in school? He watched and rewatched the school shooting trial of Nicholas Cruz.
So I'll stop it right there. Colin Gray, which is the dad again, he's going to serve 15 years behind prison for buying the gun. And based on, what the judge was saying, ignoring the warning signs. Cuzzo, do you think is holding the parent accountable or criminally liable, justice, or is it a slippery slope? Do you hear me? Hey.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that one. I mean, that could be, I think that could be a slippery slope. Just based on the fact, in some situations, you can provide a great home, but the kids can still make their own decisions based on their own choices and influences they have when interacting with, certain individuals or being, influenced, based on what they're watching or what they're interested in, and what intrigues them. But just listening to this information, and then in this case, not doing the things that a child should regularly be doing, going to school. I get it. Some people homeschool. So, I wouldn't agree with that totally 100%. But, as he was saying, if you're not monitoring what the child's doing, if you're not implementing any type of extracurricular activities to where the child is learning something that's going to be able to offer a level of confidence, a level of, some type of education to where they feel they could implement themselves in society to where it's on a positive standpoint, that's just like, me leaving my child home and they're watching, how to rob a bank. And, they go out and rob a bank. So it's just kind of like if you're practicing something, if you're doing something on a consistent basis for a young mind, that's just kind of like gospel. So, in that instance, yeah, I don't think it could be a slippery slope because, you get out what you put in. I could look at it from that standpoint. Or you could look at it from a standpoint of, all the stuff that we have going on in LA, it could be gang banging, it could be sideshow car meets, it could be racing, it could be flocking, it could be carjackings, it could be just robberies in particular. I'm pretty sure, these kids a lot of times are not watching that on a regular basis. This is just something that they want to do to, get money or get ahead. But in this instance, it's totally different. You're talking about watching something like a school shooting. This will be likened to, someone watching some type of other tragic situation and they're watching that over and over and over, and then they go out and do it. Would you be surprised at that point? So 15 years to the dad, for him, kind of being supportive of that, not doing things in a way that would kind of prevent these types of things. And I think he got that time to kind of, implement some type of, hey, this is a warning. This is something that you can look at as, an example of what not to do. If your kid's not in school, they're out, make sure you keep an eye on what they're doing, because they could be planning something. And then I don't get why you go out and get the child a gun. It's almost like you were kind of egging them on. Okay, well, go do it. This is what you want to do. You're a man now. So, you're making your own decisions.
Right.
I mean, it could be kind of like that twisted mindset, some dads have to where they're trying to make a man out of their son and they're helping them to make their own decisions. So, that's just my thought process on it. I'll yield.
Cool. Yeah, I think you could look at it on two sides of the coin. I look at this as a how can I word this? I don't want to word it incorrectly. Let me rephrase. So this is a tragedy for one, as we all know. But kind of like the area that you were leaning to about the car meets and all these other things that happen, we see a lot of kids like at these sideshows going into place, ransacking the place, robbing local businesses, tearing things up, destroying things. I've seen kids, shot at these events. I've seen, kids break into people's houses and burglarize their houses. And then if something happens to them, the parents is mad at the person that did it. And so the thing is like, where do we draw a line at? Who do we hold accountable? Who are raising these kids? There used to be a mindset that or a philosophy that you are the extension of me as a child, right? And that's a mindset. And so, of course, like there's no playbook, there's no handbook, there's no instruction guide on how to raise a child. And especially if you are, dealing with other circumstances, sometimes you find yourself in a difficult situation where you have to deal with You have to be adult. I'll just put it that way. And you have to also raise this child. And so, with that being said, it's not a playbook. We're not going to be perfect in it, but there are some guardrails that I think needs to be put up, as a parent for your child. And it sounds like that the father was not implementing anything, any structure, any guardrails for his son. I don't know. I don't even know if he was actually homeschooling. I just know he was at home because from what was said is that he was just watching this video and over again. And I guess he was left to do what he wanted to do. And you know what? I was looking at a Instagram video, doom scrolling as they call it. And I saw an African-American lady, a Black American walk into a store with her 10 to 12-year-old, and it doesn't matter the color, but I guess I said it anyway, but I saw a lady walk in the store with her 10 to 12-year-old child, and they walked out with a basket of stuff that they didn't pay for. Like, people are exposing their kids to things that they shouldn't be exposed to. Guess what? You shouldn't be doing that, but if you're going to do it, like, why expose your children to it? And then when your child starts doing it and they start calling you, or they are treating you like Colin, what's his last name? Colin Gray, and they give you some time, then you're going to be upset and mad. Why do they keep calling me about you? I don't know why you act like that, because you are displaying you are showing the child what and what not to do. And so by him not creating a structure for his son, and his son continuously watching this school shooting, like, what do you think he's intrigued, obviously, by if he's continually watching this thing. Like, I continuously watch, things that intrigue me, things about finances, things about business, things about how to create things for you. And those things I want to do. So what do you think is going to happen next? And guess what? It could have ended in a different way, because what if, he had to turn the gun on you and himself? I mean, we probably wouldn't be having this story about the mass shooting, but it'll be another story, right? And so I think, and the reason why I say slippery, so that's the side of like warranted, right? But on the slippery side, 15 years, I'm assuming he gave him 15 years because he's maybe we'll have to get more detail about, but I'm assuming it's kind of like a you got your manslaughter, type of guidelines. You got involuntary and voluntary, and it sounds like it was maybe tied to something like that. I don't know. I'm just guessing because of the amount of time he got. And when I thought about this, like 15 years, I don't know, that's quite a bit. And I know, Cuzzo, you said a warning. Hey, that's more than a warning. That's a nice little bit of time, especially if you're already 55. So that means, if he may get released before he's 70, but just say he serves all his 15 years, he's going to be 70 because he's 55 right now. It's trouble. So I think that honestly, I think this needs to happen in some more instances, for parents to start waking up and taking accountability, for who they raise. And guess what? I'm going to say this too. For y'all mothers, there we go. For y'all, I'll take that away. For y'all mothers who want to, keep the child and the father separate, and you get a monster on your hand, guess what? When he does or she does something that is not in line with what you think they should do, and they get in trouble and the police are knocking at your door, hey, this is what you chose to do. This is your decision. And I know y'all might come for me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, shout out to this is one of those AI comments. But yeah, shout out to y'all, who choose to do that. A mother needs, I mean, a child needs both parents. Stop using the parents. Stop using the child as pawns because you don't like the father. Stop using the child as a pawn because you don't like the mother. But anyway, man, this is an unfortunate situation because, you know, maybe if he had paid attention, you know, multiple people would still be alive. But, you know, we don't know. I mean, I know they say, you know, we don't know our time and things like that. And it was our time and, you know, whatever the case is. But, you know, I think a lot of things, you know, they do happen for a reason. But I think also our decisions determine, you know, what happens in life. And unfortunately, you know, somebody's decision changed the lives of half a dozen or more families. So that is all on that topic. We'll go on to the next one. Let me see. Let me see what we got here. And what was that? What was the other topic that I was gonna? Give me 1 second, y'all. Oh yeah, the guy in Michigan. 1 second. I thought I saved it. All right.
The closest thing to fresh air in this office.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out. Booking.com, y'all don't have to pay us. No, sorry.
On a burning, the deaths of a family of 8 found inside a burning home in West Michigan Friday have been ruled a murder-suicide. Firefighters were called to that fire at a home on Riverside Trail in Grand Haven Township, where they found the bodies of 2 adults and 6 children. The Ottawa County Sheriff's Office says 47-year-old Christopher Karolkowitz shot his wife Amanda and their 6 kids, ranging in age from 5 to 15, before turning the gun on himself.
Saw them getting on the bus almost every day. When I went to work, they were always getting on the bus. I did hear some neighbors say that we wish we would go out and talk more as a neighborhood and kind of get together more, because this is something that you just don't think is going to happen.
Deputies say the fire was intentionally set after the killings. The fire's cause remains under investigation, and authorities say there are no other suspects.
Did you hear about that story?
No, but it does sound like a similar story that we did on this podcast not too long ago. So
yeah, I think we've been seeing a lot of that more and more happening. I don't know what it is that are, you know, I don't know if it's just that we're, you know, more aware because we're looking for things. I mean, looking for topics and you know, on social media. I mean, just, you know, receiving information from a lot of different places, or is it just that this is something that's like happening a lot more than normal? But it you know, first thought, it seems like it's happening a lot more than normal. You know, these type of things, these mass shootings and killings of families, you know, whether it's the son or daughter, you know, killing the parents, and you know, or you know, we've heard about a guy, I think it was Louisiana, where he, you know, took out the family and the kids. I mean, I don't know what, you know, kind of drives people to do, like, what would cause them to do that. I know there's instances in life where we experience the challenges and stuff seems like it's stacked up against us. But I don't know, man. that's never crossed my mind to just, you know what? I'm gonna just check everybody out. Everybody gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I know it's not funny, but like that's very extreme. And I don't know what would, like the neighbor, was saying that she would see him at the bus stop every day. I know there's some detail that he had, recently lost his job. He worked for, I think, a medical company or something like that. And he had just lost his job actually this month. And I mean, I don't know if it's that. It could be a combination of things, but I don't know. The only thing I could think of, I don't know. I'm taking the kids and we going to stay with mom or something like that. I don't know. We leaving.
Yeah.
And one of those situations, like if I can't have you, or if I can't be with you, then nobody can. We've seen those situations before. I don't know. But then also it seems kind of odd though, because this video right here didn't really give a whole lot of details, only 50 something seconds, but they kind of mentioned it, that there was a fire, there was fires set throughout the house strategically. Who does that? I don't know. Does it, I mean, involved in his particular, training or something like that, because they deal with safety, if you're in medical field, y'all deal with safety and stuff like that. And maybe it was brought up, if you set certain fires and set fires in certain places, they can't get to the person. I don't know. It just seems odd that somebody would take somebody out and then set a fire strategically in throughout the house. So I don't know. Like I said, I was looking to try to see what field he was in, and I was like, oh, he did lose his job, but then also he's in the medical field. I don't know. I like it. It seems a little, a little fishy. I mean, because the other thing I think about is like maybe he owed somebody some money, and everybody had to go. I don't know, and they maybe set a fire to get rid of evidence. I don't know. It just seems odd that I'm gonna take y'all out. I'm gonna set these fires, and then I'm gonna take myself out. I don't know. It just seems odd. It could be either, like, in my opinion, like me thinking it could be that one thing. Guess what? If I can't have you, if the kids can't be here with me and us together, and we figure it out, they could have been had other problems. Then everybody gotta go, or the other side. What about you, Cuzzo?
Yeah, I mean, just to understand the mindset behind, that level of desperation, that level of just having that mental break, just saying, as the head of this family, this ain't a place for me or my children or my family. So we need to leave this place, So I don't know if that's what the person was thinking, but I mean, that's definitely something that's never crossed my mind, not even myself, taking myself out, that just wasn't something growing up that was instilled in us. It's kind of like, you're going to figure it out. You're going to find out, and if you don't like it, you're just going to have to go through it or grow through it, So you're going to have to.
It's a fact.
Find a way, to get what you need to get done. So, it's just unfortunate, as you said, you're starting to hear it more and more and more. And I just think they're starting to report it more because, they want to have that type of energy out there. And, us just understanding that's not normal. So we're not going to try to make it seem like it's something normal. Because I don't know anybody personally that's gone through that or was involved in that.
Right.
So whoever did it, and like I said, it's not a color thing. It's just one of those things that you kind of come across and see, how it happens, and you can only speculate why it happens. And just like the lady said in the interview, maybe we should have came out, or wish we would have came out, and talked to them more, or probably being more of a community on our streets when, some of those things could possibly help, or it couldn't have helped. It just depends on the individual. You don't know what each person is dealing with in their own personal life. So, you know, having that amount of responsibility on you, you know, it's just, it can break somebody. It can break people. You know, it can break up people. It can break up marriages and homes. We've seen that time and time again too. You know, so just kind of understanding that the dynamics and, you know, this life that we're all living, you know, we have to understand that there are breaking points for people. And, you know, you never want them to go to that extreme, but, you know, understanding that it can happen. So, you know, shouts out to the family and the people involved. You know, hopefully they're getting the help, you know, and talking to some people that they need to kind of move forward and, you know, deal with that as they go on in their life. So, you know, we never really talk about the family side too, is another thing, you know, having to understand and hear that, you know, what the family has to deal with that loss, you know, because it's a tragic loss, you know. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I just don't know how, you know, just say it does get that bad, you know, like I can't even see myself having the courage to do that, to put one alone, like take myself out, but let alone take a child out, my own child. Like I don't understand that, but you know, like you said, it had to be like a, you know, could it be like a psychotic break? But some people, you know, I think have that in them, you know, like they grow up, you know, killing frogs and, you know, doing all kind of reckless stuff. Like it's, you know, I don't know. Anyway, we'll go on to the next subject. We won't spend too much time on that. So I'm gonna just run it.
Is now, but could AI erase the past? Critics is sounding the alarm regarding how companies are training their AI programs and whether big tech is producing more pollution than we originally thought. With reports, tech companies are buying books in bulk, including rare and out-of-print titles, to train their AI models. Critics go on to allege that in an effort to remain anonymous and avoid a PR nightmare, millions of books are allegedly being sold to third-party middlemen. From there, the companies harvest the data using hydraulic cutting machines to slice the spines off the books, scan the individual pages, and then once the data is digitized, the book remnants head to the shredder. Companies are doing this because books printed before 2022 are guaranteed to be fully written by humans. They say it will eliminate some of the AI slop that's circulated on the internet the past few years, but critics say it comes at the expense of real people, erasing cultural history and destroying our environment. So I'd like to bring in Sultan Megji, CEO of AI software firm Frontier Foundry Corporation.
I'll pause it right there and let us talk about it because I don't want them to muddy our opinions and our our thoughts on it. But you know what I'll do is I'll say this. So when I looked at the topic, I put it in AI and I asked, like, I just asked a straight up question. I said, are companies shredding books to train AI models? And so this is in Claude. So Claude says, yes, this is a real practice, though the details are worth separating out, especially since some of the reporting concerns Anthropic, the company that made me. I'll try to be precise rather than either defensive or sensational. The confirmed part comes from the court records last summer. Court records revealed that Anthropic had purchased millions of physical books, removed their bindings, scanned them, and discarded the original to build a searchable digital library used to train the AI models. In what internal documents called Project Panama. The process known as destructive scanning involves cutting the spine from the book so its pages can be fed through a high-speed scanner before the remaining physical copy is discarded. This was documented in June 2025 copyright filing. Cuzzo, I'll let you jump on this one since you brought it to our attention. I'll let you have first dibs.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, reminds me of book burning, pretty much. You get rid of literature that exists and you put it into an AI model, and there you can, change it, you can manipulate it. Um, you can train AI on a certain style and what you want it to think as, talk as, give out information as. So based on this book, based on these teachings, I want you to, talk like this, or I want you to give answers if you were this person that wrote this book, and not having that book available. If you're getting rid of people, research, how can they cross reference? If everything is digitized now, then if everything only exists digitally, then there is no real research, because you have to cross reference. You got to have multiple sources of information. But I don't even know what the reason for cutting the books are, other than controlling the information. Like, why not donate the books? Why do you need to cut the books and get rid of the books? Cut the binder. I mean, that just lets me know that you want to get rid of that publication and then just house that information inside the cloud or wherever you're keeping that information. So that's just my best guess. And the reason why they're doing this third party, they don't want that backlash publicly, because people understand what that is. People know what that means, because we've seen that many, many times throughout history. There is a movie called, what is it called?
Don't say it, 'cause I was just about to talk about it.
You about to say it? What's it called?
It's about Fahrenheit 451.
There you go. You already know it.
Yeah.
So that's what I think of, when I hear about this. I haven't really seen that. I actually need to go and watch the movie. Have you seen the movie yet?
I have. Yeah, I saw it twice.
Okay. So I need to go watch it.
Well, I try not to give too much away, but yeah.
No, go ahead. I'm gonna still watch it, but
Okay.
that's just what that reminds me of, So, and just looking at it, yeah, it gives you, an adaptation. The old goes up in flames, the new shall be fashioned from the flames of our hearts. Nazi propaganda. Minister Joseph Goebbels told the crowd then, as Time reported. So, a lot more propaganda can be put out there, when things like this happen. And it talks about AI slop. Well, propaganda is the same thing. I want to control the narrative. I want to control the speech and the way people think. So if I buy books and I scan the information and I cut the books up, now I own and house this information. So now I can, kind of reschedule the narrative to be as I want it to be, based on this voice or based on these voices. This is what it is based on AI. And a lot of people are just searching AI. Like, I think I've seen a clip from Joe Budden's podcast. The dude was doing some research and put it in AI. And I think it was Lamont Hill. He's like, "Is that your research? You put it in AI and that's what you coming with? That's not real research." He kind of like clowned him on it. And it's like, yes, if you use AI, it's going to give you some form of information, but don't stop there. You have to keep digging deep in order to get the true information on what you're really seeking, the truth. It's going to give you an adaptation of the truth or what the truth could be. But, AI, it can be manipulated, and it can manipulate you because it only speaks in a certain tone or a certain way.
Right.
So you have to continue to train your models or your AI, or what we call it, large language models, into how you want it to communicate to you and with you. Like, don't use this, take this out. If you're using this, then it's not the truth, So, that's just my thought on it. What you got on it, Cuzzo?
Yeah, man. I mean, to your point, that's the first thing I thought about when I saw it. I thought about the movie with Michael B. Jordan, Fahrenheit 451, and then also the Book of Eli. You know what I mean? Like, I think this could be helpful on one spectrum, because you are using the information to teach the models to learn, and it's grabbing it from the source. Because people do make mistakes in the sense of like somebody trying to type it in, or somebody posted something and they typed it themselves, and you're trying to pull real life information from that source. It could be off, or it could be wrong, or it could be interpreted a certain way. But I think when I was a few years younger, maybe like 10 years, nothing crazy, the idea of being able to digitize things was a good thing. Like it appeared like a great thing. Like, this is good. Like that way, I don't have to worry about the VHS tape being destroyed. Actually, maybe 20 years ago, because we used to do, I don't know if you used to burn CDs, Cuzzo, like you used to LimeWire and all that stuff. We used to download CDs, and there was ways we could put like we could put like MP3s on the CD, and you could have like hundreds and hundreds of songs on one CD. You put it in there, and it's you're good to go. You could like play for hours. But let me kind of continue down the road. I think that looking at that and looking at the future, having a way that we can digitize old videotapes of our family, and put it on a CD, or put it digitally somewhere else digitally, where we could access that, because the video cassettes, for you guys that don't know, or you guys didn't have VCRs, so that kind of dates us. This dates me too. But those tapes, they eventually fail, like and then who's using VCRs these days, right? That idea of being able to do that was a great idea. It was like, yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, I want to do that. I can't wait. This is something I want to do. We could digitize all of our catalog and stuff like that. We could put the movies that we used to watch on VHS on a CD or DVD, or make it an MP4 file or things like that. But then as you are in it, and like things start to get more advanced, what happens is, and you guys are probably not paying attention to this, but they could change data. They could change information. They've changed some stuff in movies, like scenes in movies, taking them out, songs and albums that are now being streamed. They take certain things out, and it changes. And they change the structures of the movies. And guess what? This could be the same thing. Like we won't have access, to these books. If this continues to happen, we won't have access to a physical copy of this book. And so guess what? They could change the information. And guess what? When you go to Google now, Google is not just Google. It still will point you certain locations. But guess what? People are not using Google just to use Google. Google has an AI feature as well. And so it's happening to that also. And so you're not getting the source from the source. Guess what? For those who are out there that are religious, you go online for the Bible, and guess what? They can change the words of what the Bible says. They can say, she was created in the image of God, not man was created in the image. They can change stuff up, and guess what? If that's all you know, or if you don't know, then that's something you could believe in. That's something that you believe. Guess what? It's in the Bible. That'll be your argument. And as we continue to, people continue, we continue to cycle through generations, they could start to shift this information where that's all people will know, and it'll be misinformation. But guess what? You don't have a physical source to go to. So there's a yin and a yang. And I do, kind of, I don't know if you heard it, but I do understand why they're pulling out the spine of the book, because they're feeding it through a high-speed scanner. And that's why they're doing that, to make it faster, because we're lazy, instead, and they just need to pay somebody to go up there and open up the book page and just put it down on the thing, man, and preserve those books. But and I think the mindset behind it is like, guess what? It's my book. We're paying for it because they're paying for it, and they feel like because they're paying for it, it's not as egregious. But why are they going through a third party? To your point, because they don't want to face backlash from doing this. So I think in the long run, I don't know. We'll just have to see, because like I said, they're already changing information in movies and stuff like that, and taking away songs. Just something simple. I don't know if you heard of LaToya Williams, but she's an artist. She sings like on a Dog Pound stuff. And she had like a song I was looking for. Man, I could not find that song for nothing in the world on any streaming platform. I think I looked for it on YouTube, and I think I was able to find it on YouTube. My boy actually had it. My boy had it. The MP3 version of it. But let me see. Here it is. Right, Falling Star. That's what it's called. Let me see. Do I have it muted? I know I'm gonna just have to take this out of the stream, because I know they're gonna probably block me or something. But let me see.
I never said that you had to offer the world to me.
A vibe, ain't it?
I didn't think that you could. No, I can't recall asking you to promise these things to me. I didn't think that you should. No, no one could ever persuade me with words I've been around too long. Even though it sounds so good, but good is only as good as you give me, boy. But there is not too much that I can see what happened. We used to do.
Bro, I looked for that song everywhere and I could not find it. But I know it was on one of one of those guys' albums, or on her own album or something, but I could not find it. I looked on Spotify, I looked on Tidal, I looked on everywhere, and I could not find it. And so they could just do that. They could just decide to remove something and it's gone.
Yeah, I was thinking this, was that on the Wash? I don't know. I don't know if it was that. I don't know, but yeah,
it was one on one of those tracks.
Yeah, but she has a very distinctive voice, so when you hear it, you know exactly where it's from and who it is. And
100%.
Shout out to you, because I didn't know her name, so shout out to you. I'm glad you said that, because definitely got to put that in the archives, because we can't let that one die. Like that's a classic banger, like you said, vibe setter for sure.
Yes, sir.
Like if you don't smoke or drink, you want to just sit back and chill, that'll probably make you want to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
All right, on to the next topic. So sports betting has exceeded let me see, other forms of entertainment. I'm gonna just read it up, because I don't think there's a video out there, but let me see. No, okay, we'll just do that. Okay, so Americans roughly wager $168 billion, and this is as of 2025. More than movies, which is $8.87 billion box office. More than recorded music, 11.5 billion. Live music, 18.51 billion. Books, 14.6 billion. And museums, 16.4 billion combined. So those other forms of entertainment are a total of 70 billion. But sports betting has doubled that with more than doubled it with 166 billion total dollars in 2025. And then what's funny is that I don't know if Claude is involved in sports betting, but he tried to give me a nuance and say, this doesn't include the money that is paid back to the people. I don't care about that. That's not what I care about. But anyway, so what do you think about that, Cuzzo? Like, sports betting, has it gotten out of hand?
I mean, that's what it's designed to do. I mean, we understand that the world of gambling and betting, are synonymous. We've seen the rise of, individuals getting in trouble because they shaving points, because they sports betting. We've seen individuals make it a business model, going on TikTok, social media, hey, come hang out with me, I'll show you how to sports bet, make the real money. And, at the end of the day, we understand what it is. It's just the chance to come up. It's the chance to make money. It's a business model. It's a form of, trying to make money. And, it's legal pretty much in all states now, or a lot of states now. It used to be illegal and not allowed through apps. You can only go to certain states to put in bets or BAMO. Now you make it accessible to everyone online through apps. It's much easier. So that opportunity or that option, it's going to make it more insatiable, for people. So just understanding that and looking at it, like, of course, it's going to be, considered entertainment, but it's entertainment, yes, but it's also gambling. That's what it is. Sports betting is gambling. You're taking money and you're putting your money against the odds that they set, and you're hoping to parlay. You're hoping to, double, triple, quadruple your money. And it's the same thing goes along with playing the lottery. If I'm buying lottery tickets, is that entertainment? Is that a form of entertainment? I kind of like how they use the word entertainment, because you're betting on things that entertain us, which is sports. It's in the entertainment industry. And then I see ads for, what is it, the new app Apalachee or something like that, where you can bet on any and everything. You can bet on, bet on what
is the weather go right?
Yeah,
Like, is the sun gonna come out today?
Is the weather gonna be hot or cold today? You can bet it. Yeah, is he gonna grow up to be big or tall? I mean, short or small? I don't know, but yeah, I mean, it's just trivializing, life in such a way that you want to find a way that you can make a lot of money, in an industry that's already making money, but you want to figure out how to make it so fast that, you don't have to worry about working a job, a 9-to-5, finding a career, because we understand what all those things are. It takes up a lot of your time. So I think a lot of people get adrenaline rushes from it because, just like me, I like to play fantasy football. And of course,
dopamine
we wager, in the group. And at the end of the year, somebody wins, whatever the pot is that we put up. And that's basically it. Like, I'm not really into the sports betting. Like, I've looked into it. I've done some stuff, but it's just kind of like, it doesn't really excite me per se. Because it's like, there's so many ways that you could lose. And there's only one or two ways that you can win. So that doesn't like make me want to say, hey, yeah, I'll go ahead and do this. And of course, we call the parlay is the poor man's is the poor man's bet, or the guy that doesn't know much about that platform or how the bets go, point spreads and all those things. I still don't know how that stuff goes. I'll be trying to ask people. I don't know what none of that means. I mean, it sounds like you're making sense, but I still don't get it, just me in general. So, yeah, I can kind of see how that just blows everything else out of the water because, again, sports is something that everyone or a lot of people like to watch. And now I can bet on it. I can possibly win money, from watching sports, the sports that I love, it just makes it that more exciting. So, yeah, I can kind of see how it may be a problem, especially if you gambling your money away that you have to pay rent on, food, all those things. But I mean, if you got a hold of it, if you got a discretionary fund, then hey, that's your business.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. So I am in there. You know what I'm saying? In there meaning like I have indulged, I am tainted. I am guilty. I'm the pappy. You know what I'm saying? I've done a little bit of it, and I actually kind of got entangled, entangled, yeah, that entanglement with it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I got involved a while ago, like maybe, let me see, yeah, probably like crazy 22 years ago, right? So, I'm snitching. So my coworkers, we actually used to travel to the same group of guys I used to tell you we used to go to the away football games, Cuzzo. And so they were doing it, and actually one of my other coworkers, he got introduced around the same time I did. And so it was this app we used to go on, and like, I'll say this though, when I'm involved in it, I'm not the one that wants to lose money, right? So I'm putting up $20. That's my limit. You know what I'm saying? If we going over that, then I can't talk to you. So but I know that the goal is, or actually I'll say this, I know that the house always wins. I know that much. Guess what? You can hit them over the top of their head like you feel like, but guess what? Those microtransactions or those transactions that happen on a regular basis, if you're doing this on a regular, don't equate to that one time you hit it over the head a lot of the times. And so I remember one time, funny you talk about a parlay. My first time, I put in a parlay. I put in a 12-team parlay, and this is on the spread only. And it was for like, I think it was for 700. Your boy hit on 700. Hit him on top of the head. Run it up. I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and take that money. So I took like probably 98% of my funds out of there. And guess what? I think I kept 50 in there. Guess what? The next week, hit them on top of their head again for 600. 2 parlays, back-to-back weeks. And I was like, oh, man, hey, that's how they get you. That's how you get baited in. And guess what? That 50, after I played with that 50, I lost that. I was like, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we out of there. Sometimes you got to know that some people don't know when to leave. Some people don't know when to get away. Some people don't know when to leave the table. Mm-hmm. Guess what? I was out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? The next week, I put in another 20. I'll put in 20 every now and then. But guess what? It wasn't like I wasn't putting in 500 and going for the gusto because I knew I wasn't an expert at that. And guess what? I didn't know. Guess what? The number one player on that team could get hurt, and I'm SOL. So I'm not about to do it. But so that's my experience with it. And they have these apps, kind of like you said, Koshi and like Prize Picks. I'll put a few dollars in every now and then, and see what happens. But I'm not going crazy. I'm not putting in $50, $100, $200, $300 on nothing. Because I don't think I have I think it's a certain personality that gets attached to that stuff and gets caught up. Addicted personality and some things. The only thing that, and I blame your auntie and my cousin for this. When I go to Vegas, I gotta play roulette, but I still put a limit on myself. If it's $100, if it's $200, I'm out of there. It's funny because I never really gambled when I went to Vegas. I think I played blackjack one time in my life, but I won $60 and I got up and left. That's my practice. But we went to Vegas. I think it was Super Bowl out there, and your auntie was like, "Hey, come on, Cuzzo, like, come on, let me show you how to play roulette. Just play one time." I'm like, "Nah, I'm good." She's like, "Okay, all right, just come watch me play." And I'm like, I probably should have never watched her play. I watched her sit down at the table. She hit 400, 400, 400. I was like, "Oh, hell no." Like back to back to back. I was like, "Oh yeah, we in there. Let me put my little money in there."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, let me see what I do. I did, and I actually won. I think I ended up winning like $120 or something like that. And I was up out of there. You're not about to get my money back, bro. If I win. Now, if I'm not the type of dude that sit down there and win $100, $200, $300, $400, $500, and then I put it back and give it back to you. No, sir. I'm gonna still set aside a dollar amount. I know this is going off topic, but it's this cat that I watch on YouTube. I'm just intrigued about it for some reason. His name is Bluff, and he has a YouTube channel. Him and his buddies, he has maybe 6 friends, and they all like gamble. They play different machines. They play like roulette. They play baccarat. They play crapless dice. I actually want to play when I go to Vegas. I want to play dice and see how it goes because I have a different understanding of it. But anyway, I could see this happening even at see a lot of people gambling a lot more because it's a poor man's way of getting rich quick.
Right.
Because they paint a picture that guess what? All it takes is a few dollars and you become rich. And they show you the people that, hit these mega millions and they hit these bonuses. They show you people that hit these top payouts in the casino, but they don't show you the losses a lot of the times. I mean, shout out to Bluff. Bluff does show the losses, but that dude is crazy. He keeps going. He'll keep pulling money until he comes back up. But they don't show you those. And I don't want to say it's targeted around people that don't have money because you have all types of people that do this, but we talked about guardrails in this other story, with parents and kids, there's no guardrails. Like, guess what? You go in there, you're an adult, you could lose your butt. I had a basketball teammate, and I may have told you this before, but his girl gave him money to pay the rent. He went to the casino and tried to double and triple it and lost it. Man, it could be addictive. Just the idea of you being able to get more, with the little that you have is appealing to people. And sometimes you do, but most of the time the house wins, as I said. So, and actually, I'll say this last thing. I know I've been rambling, but I met with a school, and we're talking about the technology and stuff like that they have in the school, and they said that the kids is doing it. And I don't know how that's legal or not, but they didn't call some kids, doing it in high school. You know what I'm saying? So this is not just affecting like adults, but this is, passing down to, the high school. I did Uber for a little bit, and I heard people in the backseat talking about, oh, did you put in your parlay? Oh, I hit. Like, it's different people. You know what I'm saying? So this is, I could see why that's, a thing, like why it succeeded, these other forms of entertainment. But anyway, I will shut up and I'll try to, let me see, we'll go to this one because I think this was interesting. Did you hear about the Apple and Klarna situation going on, Cuzzo?
No, what is that?
We're gonna play it. Let me see. We'll share. Oh, it's sharing already.
Time for dollars and cents. Apple is launching a new program to let customers lease its products. Much like leasing a car, customers can pay to use a device for a period of time rather than owning it. Okay, so here's the deal. Apple is launching a program with the buy now, pay later provider Klarna that lets you lease a new iPhone, watch, Mac, or iPad. Let's say you want to get the iPhone 17 Pro, which retails for $1,100. With a 24-month lease, you will pay $32 a month. If you do the math, that ends up being $331 cheaper over 2 years than if you had bought it. The phone up front, bought it up front, I should say. At the end of the lease, you can either buy out the product or by paying the outstanding balance, or you could upgrade to a new lease. This really is like buying a car or leasing a car, or you can return it and walk away. But there is some fine print. If you end the lease early, you could pay a fee. It requires a soft credit check as well. And for more money saving tips, you can.
All righty there. So do you have more insight?
I mean, that makes sense. These phones is $1,000 right now, so it's ridiculous. They need to provide financing, but I guess they don't want to roll it into the payments every month anymore. So this is a way that you could do it. So I mean, it's two sides to everything. This could be something that could be beneficial to people that want to get a new phone, just like a new car, every time a new iPhone comes out, so this might be one of those situations that may be beneficial to them. But like I said, there's always two sides. There's a downside, people getting phones and paying the lease, and then they can't pay the lease, then, they shut your phone off or there's no more updates coming. There's many different reasons where you try to use the phone or call the phone and then you can't make any outgoing calls, or you get text messages from AT&T like, hey, pay your bill, and all this can go away. So
our robot comes up to your door and like, please deposit your phone.
Exactly. So it's just kind of like, those are the things that I think about when I hear about stuff like that. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how that turns out.
I mean, shout out to them, man. I think that this definitely helps us shareholders, you know what I'm saying? With that new relationship, because we know what people are gonna do especially when they let you finance it. People already want a MacBook, people already want a phone, iPhone. People want Meta glasses. Is Apple with Meta? No, Apple not Meta. I'm sorry. Disregard that. But people want Apple products. And Apple products have kind of been behind that paywall where it's been cut off. But now you're probably going to see people starting to try to get MacBooks if that's included, on a regular. And but I think people have already been using the Klarna to buy things like this. But I think they're making it kind of more affordable because you're able to lease it. But I don't know. In my opinion, I don't think it really serves a good purpose. I think it's a trap, because you're spending it says you'll spend like roughly $1,100 and which you'll save $300, but the phone is not yours. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to turn it back in. You know, like what if you can't pay, you know, to start another lease?
I mean, you turning in phones anyway at the end, so you know, I don't think it will be good.
My phone, I keep my phone, man.
And do what with it when you get a new phone?
I use it for a paperweight.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean, I think
it's called e-waste, but okay. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like the data that's on there, you know, they say it's deleted when you delete it, but it's not necessarily. You know, people can still track it. So that's one of the reasons why I hold on to it. But I think that for shareholders, I think this will be a great thing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna generate some sales for sure. You know, or some income or some. It's gonna because people are gonna take advantage of this. I can hear him now. Bitch, did you hear about so man?
Right.
Did you hear about that? I need that new iPhone, babe. Can you get that for me? I ain't got no money for the iPhone. You can lease it now.
Crazy.
Hey man, yeah, it's gonna happen. Guess what? I don't know when. Actually, I'm curious to find out when this is happening, but when it starts, it may start now, but it's a perfect time for Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Christmas is gonna pop off like crazy.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Because you know people are trying to find other ways to, you know, give people presents and things like that. And I know it's gonna pop off. So you know, shout out to this relationship. We'll see what happens. I could foresee more companies starting to do stuff like this. Especially because a lot of companies, car companies, etc., are going to a subscription-based way of doing things, and they're trying to keep people locked into their company. So this is another way to keep people locked in to Klarna and to Apple and to their ecosystem.
For
you
sure.
know, what's crazy is you know, I thought about getting a Tesla, you know, before, like you used to pay a certain price for the assisted driving or self-driving, but now you got to pay a monthly subscription. So it's like $99 a month now. It's no like the entire price is included to your car. So they try to keep you into the ecosystem. So yeah, shady, but you know, it is what it is. What you got going on, Cuzzo? You about to take off?
Yeah, man. You know, it's about that time here. You know, getting ready to head on out.
Gotcha. I'm gonna bring up one last topic, and if you gotta go, or if you want to go mobile, let me know. This is the last one. Hopefully it's a short one.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll rock out for the last one.
Tyla says, "Men are divas." Let's see. Here we go.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking.
All right, here we go. Unmute that. And there we go.
It's a nonchalant, but I don't know if you've seen, there's a lot of chat online about being chalant. So what is better, having or chasing a nonchalant man or a chalant man, and why?
There just needs to be a balance. Like you need to know when to be nonchalant and when to be chalant. You know what I mean? Yeah, there just needs to be a balance.
I actually like a chalant, kind of a bag almost.
A big.
I just love attention.
But yeah, you know, like that's how it should be technically. But yeah, the guys these days,
it's hard.
Divas.
They're divas.
Bedazzled divas.
Yeah.
So
you know?
divas.
Yeah. I feel like I'm in the girls' bathroom right now. I'm just in the middle, like,
yeah, you like.
Absolutely. The guys,
Yeah.
Men.
Hate them.
No, but not even that. Like, I just think, like, I don't know, like, like guys don't want to be Sims anymore.
They don't.
It's kind of embarrassing now.
Yeah.
Not all guys. Not all guys.
Oh, you
a Sim?
Yeah. I can simp. I can simp.
Okay.
I got a balance.
I like that about you.
Well, stop right there. So, crazy, right? So she basically is saying that, you know, that they like chalant men. Then, you know, for those who couldn't understand what they're saying, you know, so she asked her, does she like nonchalant men or chalant men? And then, oh boy, right there, man, oh my God, he said he is simp. But anyway, what's your take on that, Cuzzo?
I mean, at least he's telling the truth, you know. I mean, there's a lot of men out there that are, you know, that's just their personality. That's just how they were brought up. You know, that's how they, you know, get attention from women. And they were not taught different. You know, this is just them out in the world, you know, seeing how it works out for them. And it's unfortunate. But that is their preference. I mean, you know, these days, women coming up, their ideals and what they see in terms of what they want in a partner, whether they want a partner, you know, it comes from a place of seeing everything on social media, you know, so not really having encounters and interactions that are genuine. You know, everything is sensationalized because it's trendy, it's cultural, you know, it's reality TV-ish per se. So it's like, I'm just going along with this because, you know, this is what's trending. These are the topics. And we had a little bit of that back in our day growing up because we watched MTV and, you know, other music videos. But, you know, I think we still had, we didn't lose that, you know, level of building relationships through interacting in public, you know, in the same spaces. It wasn't all just transactional. What can I get from you? What can you get from me? It was, you know, trying to build relationships, you know, through relational encounters and conversations, and trying to see if I can get this girl, or how many girls can I get, you know, trying to see if I can see how many guys is going to talk to me and, you know, maybe buy me a drink. I mean, there were simpler times, I would say. It wasn't like, oh, you know, I meet you the first night, you know, buy me a bag or buy me some shoes, or
to talk to me, you got to pay a certain amount of like, just talk to me like
paying me for my time. I'm like, who are you? Like, girl, stop it. Go ahead. Somebody, the simps will, you know. So, and I heard somebody say that on some podcast. Shout out to whoever said it. It's like, man, these nerds and these simps are making it hard for guys out here because they out here paying these females whatever they asking for, and it's making it hard. And, you know, it used to be like, well, that's still like a way that women can do things, like, oh, let me trap this guy and have a baby by him. Now it's just kind of like these days, well, let me see how much money you want to give me before we even have a conversation. Now the whole world is, we get on live, we get on, you know, social media world, and we're living out these fantasies and we're living out these real times every day. And let's see who wants to come into this stratosphere, or let's see who wants to come into this environment, you know, and have this conversation, or have this. It's just kind of like a big party. I don't know if you remember Party Line back in the day, you know, where you get on a call and it's like a bunch of people on the line, whatever. But, you know, this is what it is. It's a one big party line. That's just what it reminds me of. So just going back to what she was saying, it's like, I get why you like chalant men, because you can control and manipulate these guys and get whatever you want from them. Nonchalant guys are not worried about you in particular and what you want. You know, what they are worried about is, you know, their well-being, you know, what they can get out of a situation and what you can do for me, you know. And it's a mutual thing. It's not all about what I can do, what you can do. It's a mutual thing. You know, is there a vibe? Are we feeling each other? You know, it's you come to the table and I come to the table. It's not, oh, what do you bring to the table? Oh, I am the table. I mean, it's none of that stuff. None of those things, you know.
Yeah, we never had that you know, in those times that you talk about as well. Like nobody we didn't have those type of conversations about, you know, her being the table, and we didn't even have to ask what do you bring to the table, because women had a certain idea of what they wanted to bring to the relationship, and vice versa. I mean, even if the ones that didn't, we kind of didn't mess with those, you know, if you wanted a real relationship. But those that you did, they kind of already knew, like those things were like, you know, already embedded in them, already trained, you know, up in them on what is expected to be a woman. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, I'm sorry, I cut in on you. Go ahead, Cuzzo.
No, you good. Go ahead. You got it.
Yeah. So I think, unfortunately, man, that we are in a new day and time, and we have these conversations all the time because about, about, you know, how dating is, and how back in the day, like, you know, women, you know, you like before, like if you get married a while ago, like you kind of screwed now, because I mean, not saying that people can't get married, but it's harder out here because women have a certain idea of what they want, and that idea is crazy a lot of the time. If you look at it, you know, from a standpoint of, you know, she said a nonchalant man or a chalant man. These women don't want a chalant man, bro. They don't. Like, they're not gonna respect that dude, and you kind of spoke to that. They're like, that dude is gonna just give them stuff, and they're not gonna respect him. The dude that, like, the women even will tell you, like, the dude that pretends like he doesn't care about them and ignores them and doesn't pay them any attention. Those are the dudes that they want, because, you know, women have an innate thing within them where they feel like they want to, in a sense, conquer the man and get all the attention from a person, and you're giving them all your attention. Now, guess what? Why you always around? Why you here? Won't you go do something? Like, they don't know what they want. So why are we listening to these people? And this dude on there is talking about, oh, I'm a simp. He's entertaining this stuff. Oh, I feel like I'm in the girls' bathroom. Like, who is this dude? I don't know who this dude is. You know what I'm saying? Like he's entertaining this stuff, and, you know, like it doesn't make sense. Like these relationships, maybe I shouldn't even call them relationships, but these encounters that we have nowadays are mostly transactional. What can I get out of you? How much can I get out of you? Oh, guess what? Oh, you're not the one. Let me get the other person because he has more, and he's gonna give it up. But guess what? Those situations don't end up lasting like that. And I'll say this: I was thinking this as you were talking. I mean, first started talking. Like, when we grew up, like we grew up to be the man. Guess what? If you go out, you take care of your chick, you take care of your girl. Guess what? Like, if y'all go out to dinner, you know, you were taught to be the man and pay. But we weren't taught to give them, if they ask for bags and clothes and money and jewelry and stuff, like, just to give them all this stuff. We weren't taught that we had to work just to provide them with all these material things that they needed and that they wanted. But if we were a man, I mean, if we went out, if we, you know, decided to be with that person, we were told to take care of our stuff, take care of our family, take care of, you know, in that sense, but not to be no trick, not to be no simp. And this dude, man, this dude ought to go somewhere, bro. But I see why they have him on that podcast, because he fits right along with them. He fits right in with them. And man, y'all dudes stop simping. Y'all messing up the game for everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
No, they ain't. No, they ain't.
They messing up the game, man.
Ain't messing up my game.
Well, that's different, man. Hey, man, they messing up the game for the other people.
Listen,
I'll just say that. The reason why I'm saying that is because guess what? Y'all paying, and guess what? They come to other people that's not paying, and they think supposed to get paid, and I think because this person paid them, guess what? No, we ain't doing that.
Nah. Let
We
me tell
ain't
you how.
doing it.
Let me tell you how they do it these days. Women, I heard a girl say it online. I got a guy that I love. I got a guy I like. I got a guy that paid me. I got a guy that break me off. You know,
I got to spray me. Yeah, all of that.
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, you know, hey, be that guy that spray, not pay. Listen,
yes, sir.
I'm gonna be your personal trainer. That's it.
Right.
I'm gonna get you right. I'm gonna send you on your way.
Man, gotta go.
Gotta go, Bobby. Yeah.
And with that being said, we gotta go, man. That is the end of the show, man. Guys, cousins out there. Like I said, we all cousins somewhere down the line, man. But anyway, please like, comment, subscribe to the content, man. We appreciate each and every one of y'all out there that watches our content after the fact. Also, you know, because we do get a 500 to 1,000 views on our shorts, you know, throughout there. But we're trying to get more, man. So spread the news for your boy, man. Any final thoughts, Cuzzo?
Yeah, I'm gonna say something new. Comment, share, subscribe, but download. Somebody asked me how many downloads your show got. I was like, I don't know.
I think they got to get YouTube YouTube Premium to download. So get new YouTube Premium and download.
Oh yeah, that's a good sale right there. Right. But yeah, shout out to everybody in the podcast world that listens to our shorts and comments and shares. And our new subscribers, you know, things are happening as they may. So we appreciate y'all. And yeah, we enjoy doing this. So we definitely want to, you know, see more of you guys on, interacting with us. And that keeps the conversation going a lot longer. And shout out to you, Cuzzo, for putting this together, as you always do. And man, enjoy y'all weekends. And don't be simps out there. Be nonchalant. Deuces. You got something to say, Cuzzo?
Absolutely. Thanks for coming out. God bless you. Good night. Peace.